Some of the challenges that people face in Delft, I'll say gangsterism, drugs, and like alcohol. Those are the kind of challenges that people face. Because also one of my biggest challenges that I had to face growing up, it was through gangsterism, like the different gangs chasing each other with knives and stuff. I wasn't involved in those, but my way to some places, I had to be like go through the streets where those guys are. Like so, like sometimes they'll just see me and think like, who are you? Like, where are you from? Why are you here? All the stuff. But then that was one of the challenges. It also made me also want to leave school.
In this community especially, the young kids, oh Lord, like most of the mothers, they on drugs and they're not looking after their kids. The kids are in the street and that's how the kids get raped and get missed or stuff like that. Especially like for me, gangsterism is the biggest challenge that we're facing here right now. And like in the morning, you can't even walk to work peacefully because you don't know who's around the corner watching you and waiting on you.
I moved to South Africa almost 3 years ago to work in Delft. Delft is a community of almost 500,000 people. Delft is notorious for things like poverty, gangsterism, drug and alcohol abuse, poor and lack of education, just completely overcrowded schools, and the unemployment rate across South Africa hovers around 40%. When I first moved to South Africa, I really had no idea what I was in for. I just knew that God had called me to do international missions work, and my heart was to go wherever He called me to tell people about Jesus. So when I got here, God very quickly told me, you better be willing to stay planted. This is not a short-term assignment. And for someone who's wired to go and move and shake and travel, the idea of staying planted was literally terrifying. It was actually something I never thought I would do. But the reason God really challenged me with being committed to staying here long-term was because, number one, it just takes time to build relationships with people, especially for me as a minority in the community that I'm called to serve in. It takes time to build trust with people. For me, if I were to come for a short period of time and then just leave, it would actually have quite a damaging effect versus coming and staying planted and really investing in the community long term. And I will tell you this, I know that Delft does not actually need a whole bunch more of American missionaries. What Delft needs is people who are from the community to be raised up, to have opportunities to be educated and to grow in their walk with Jesus so that they will be equipped to have an eternal impact in the very streets that they were raised. And so I feel like that's my job. Even if it's just for one person, God might have brought me here just for one person so that they will be able to lead others to Christ and do the same thing, the ripple effect. So really, it's the Great Commission, right? For us to go and make disciples who make disciples who make disciples.
I got pregnant when I was 15. Let's start like I was raped when I was 14. Then I got pregnant when I was 15. After my first child, I started using drugs. I came to Delft, I got worse using drugs. I've been arrested a couple of times. I've been prostituting, and then I've been in gang-related stuff also, you know. So the boyfriends that I had in my life, I used to carry guns for them, and then so just to fit in. So I was on drugs for 15 years. I even got my second child through that. It means I'm HIV positive. Through the time when I was using drugs, I used to sell my body for drugs. Yeah, so I got infected 10 years back. Yeah. So this time I got arrested. I came back. On the day I came back, the next day, I went straight to Better Community Church. There is where when I entered in the door at Better, it's like Jesus welcomed me at the door. So there's where I found Britt. And then that's where I even realized that everything is going to be fine. I just felt that energy off me. You see, something like it was holding me back, and I just felt, okay, I'm now home. You see. So when we spoke with Britt, and then there were a bunch of social workers, then we spoke, and then I told them my story, and then we prayed. Then she started there helping me. Britt have been supporting me in all through this. I didn't have an ID. I didn't have a birth certificate for my child. She never went to school. She's 10. She have never been. Only this year she went to school through Britt. Yeah. So she's been helping me from last year since the time I was coming out from prison. Yeah. Working at Better Community Church, like serving Jesus, it's so good. It's like something that I'm meant to do. Serious, it feels nice. I used to be like lazy. Yeah, I used to be like really lazy, but whenever I'm doing something, I'm doing it like it's fun for me now. You see, everything that I'm doing at church also, it's fun for me. Yeah, so, and I could see that I'm gaining my respect in the community also, something that I've lost in the people. That I've gained that back. Like yesterday there was a woman that was like, you know, Corinne, I've got an 8-year-old that is not schooling, and then the people wants to take me to the social workers, please help. Then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna come to you tomorrow, you know. And then most of them, they're telling me, the ones that I was smoking with, they're telling me, Corinne, please pray for us, we also want to stop. But since my therapist said, work on yourself first before you can help other people. So I'm sticking to that routine. I am going to help everyone that I can, but I have to help myself first.
My name is Tracy. I have 2 siblings, 1 brother and 1 sister. I'm a middle child. I have a daughter who's 18 months, yeah. And I'm from Eastern Cape, original from Eastern Cape, relocated here just to get better education. I met Britt like 3 years back. Yeah, I think 3 years back. She came into my life while I was facing this. I won't say it's a challenge. I was pregnant. Then she came into my life as a mentor. She guided me through how to, like, in a way of drawing me closer to Christ, because I was ashamed. I felt ashamed at that time, and I felt like there's no need for me like to go to church. Like, it's like I've let a lot of people down. Yeah, so that's how I met her. She has helped me, especially with the baby that I have. Whenever like I need her, like if I need something from her, I'll just text her. I know that she'll be there for me. Yeah. Life would have been very difficult, I must say, because there were times when I'll run out of nappies. Like I wouldn't know who to turn to. But she'll always be like, I'll turn onto her, like I'll tell her, even if sometimes I just feel like sometimes I just don't have the gut to ask, but I just encourage myself because I know the kind of a person she is. She's a kind person, and yeah.
The very first time I came to South Africa was in 2015, and I was introduced to the pastors that I now serve with, Clive and Glenda McMahon, and Better Community Church, which has been in Delft in some shape or form for almost 2 decades now. And what I was completely captivated by was the fact that this church's building was open 7 days a week, not just on Sunday. And so you could see that there was a respect around the outreach that was happening in the community, and the church had done a really amazing job of just building relationships with people. People in the community know that Bedouin is a place where they can come any day of the week, anytime, and we will do our best to meet them where they're at and provide whatever resources we can to make sure that their family as a whole is in a healthy place, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically.
I think Britt really made a big difference, especially in the kids' lives, because we never used to know the kids the way that when she came and she saw. For me, what I love about her is like when she came here, she started knowing the kids. She had that deep emotion for the kids, which we never did. We used to come to church, but it just, that is that child, and we didn't even know their names. But when she came here, it's like, this woman, she's really interested in the kids, so why can't we be? So, but now it's like, there's not a kid that I don't know. That is what I learned through her.
I could never thank my support team enough. For those of you who have already invested, whether it's financially, in prayer, just sending me encouragement, you are the reason that I've been able to stay planted here in Delft for as long as I have. I do feel like this assignment is only just beginning, and that means I need to continue to build a support team who is passionate about investing in the work that God is doing here. And so that's where you come in. After hearing just a little bit of what life is like here in Delft, after hearing Corinne's story and even seeing some of the footage of the kids and just the community and what it's all about, I would love to invite you to really pray about joining my support team. And if you're interested, you can email me at globetrotministries@gmail.com. And I'd love to start the conversation about what it looks like to be a part of my support team, so that the work here can continue and so that it can continue to have an eternal impact.